One of the reasons I've been able to stay lean for the past 3 to 4 years, where I've always got ab definition, even when I'm bulking, is because of intermittent fasting. Now, in this video, I want to tell you how I fast to help myself stay in a calorie deficit, especially when cutting. So, initially, what you want to do is you want a window in the morning where you fast. So some people will say do a 16-hour fast throughout the day and make sure it's that amount of hours. If I was you, I would not worry about that. All I'd worry about would be having the fast in the morning. So let's say, for example, today, I woke up and for about 3 to 4 hours, I didn't eat. And recently, then I had a little bit of fruit. And this just allows me to prolong a bit longer, and I'm going to have some food in a second. What this allows you to do is prolong that first meal in the morning. And some days I can just fast like normal for 4 to 5 hours in the morning, then eat. That's all I do to fast to lose weight. You don't want to overcomplicate it. You see people doing 16 hours fast, 18-hour fast, 20-hour fast. Now that might work for some people, but I'm telling you, for average people, for most of you lot watching, it would be having roughly a 4 to 6 hour fast maybe would help you a lot and would be very beneficial. What this does is it has that window of the day where you're not eating, which allows you to stay in a deficit for the rest of the day, which is one of the most important things for fat loss. That is basically everything for fat loss, staying in a deficit. What this teaches you is your body don't really need food as much, and you get used to that slight hunger feeling. That's what I've had for me. I get used to that hunger feeling, but it helps me a lot. You don't need to fast for 18 hours. You don't need to fast for 20 hours. Just fast for the first bit of the day, the first chunk of the day, and then eat your first meal. And what you'll find with that first meal is it will be very filling for you. And especially if you are eating, and let's say you haven't ate for a bit, and then you have a bit of fruit. What this does is it allows you to prolong that fast a bit longer, like today. About 3 or 4 hours, I didn't eat for, had a bit of fruit, and I prolonged it a bit, and I'm going to eat in a minute. There's little tips like this that you need to use, but don't just over obsess over the time that you need to fast. All you need to do is fast that first chunk of the day, good chunk of time, and that will allow you to stay in the calorie deficit. Of course, you want good nutrition as well, and you want to eat clean as well. But just make sure you fast that little bit of the day, and that will put you in a very good state for the rest of the day. Because let's say hypothetically, you got 2,200 calories to eat. If you had your first meal, breakfast, that will take up a chunk of your calories, won't it? Let's say you had 400 calories then. It'd be quite hard to stick to the rest of that for the rest of the day. Whereas if you fast for the first 4 to 6 hours of the day, then you got that whole rest of that day, that whole chunk of time. And especially if you add a bit of fruit in as well, you got that whole chunk of time where you could eat a lot of food. Because 2,200 calories feels like a lot when you haven't ate for 6 hours of the day, or you've barely had any calories for 6 hours of the day. What I do as well is I have black coffee as well when I'm fasting. Helps me remain focused and helps me with energy. Don't overcomplicate all this. Just watch the first lot of hours in the day, and then make sure that you hit your nutrition, hit the right amount of calories the rest of the day, and your protein's are enough. If you do this, it will make it a lot easier for you to lose weight. Thank you.